Hello, everybody, once again. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Push. I am Dominic Mowen, one half of your hosts, here with the owner slash boss of bodyslam.net, Cassidy Haynes.
How's it going, guys? This is going to be a good one, I think.
This is going to be a great one. We are here with the hottest name in wrestling right now. She is the NWA Women's Champion, and she is on the tip of everybody's tongue, Thunder Rosa.
That doesn't sound right, but hi.
I'll tell you what, I think one of the reasons why everybody is so all in on you is because everybody else hypes you up. You just do the work. You're not too braggadocious about it, but you let your work speak for itself, and it does. And everybody else has been all over Twitter, all over social media, especially recently since you've been on AEW as well, just singing your praises. So, but that's not anything you don't know.
No, yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm like, yeah.
Well, listen, I have a whole bunch of questions here for you, and I know you have a busy night lined up, so I don't want to go too over, but I want to start from the beginning if we can, and because I think your whole story is so much more than just the story you tell in the ring. And I think one of the things that's so inspiring about you and just so amazing about you is your just real life story. And in interviews in the past that you've done, you've talked about growing up in Tijuana, Mexico. You're one of 4 daughters, and ever since you were young, you've just been working, constantly working to support for the family, support for yourself, even through college, and just moving to America at a young age and putting yourself through school while you were learning English. Just constantly, just that drive and that determination is so much of who you've grown up as being before you ever even jumped into the ring. But how much of who we see as Thunder Rosa, the character, really is reflective of who you are as the woman behind the face paint?
It's everything. I mean, that's all. That's me. That's why people they buy into it, into the character, because it's definitely a representation of everything that I do outside of the ring, and everything that all the struggle that I went through to be an entertainer and to be a wrestler. And then that's why I put everything in there, because that was my dream, was always to entertain people. It was either by being a teacher, by, when I was little, I wanted to be a soap opera actress. When I was in high school, by doing theater, and now doing that. So it's like, that's the least that I can do to just show how much passion I have and how much love I have for the business.
You're right up my alley when you said your love for theater, because I'm a theater nerd myself, and I see Cass in the corner just shaking his head. But
do you plan to work that into every episode? Because I swear that's what you do. But
he's
it's
right.
Well planned. Yeah,
he's right. And I have some theater questions later. But before we even get into that, I want to stick to what I think is such an important part of who you are before you got into wrestling, and it's I spoke to how you just are constantly working and striving to get your college degree, and you got your college degree in sociology for a career in helping other people. You did all that work and all of that just to be able to get yourself to a position to give back to others, and I think that's beautiful. But could you speak to a little bit to the work that you did with Thunder Road, and how that ties into your name and how you got there?
So when I got out of college, that's so interesting, because a lot of my struggles and a lot of the things that people think, like, when there's, like, when I got out of college, that's when we had it was 2010, and we have that economic downturn, like the really, really bad, that everybody got fired, and there was it was bad. It was so bad. That's when I got out of college. So pretty much it told us that nobody's going to be able to get a job. So I'm getting out, and I got a job working as a student counselor at a school where I work with kids that were the rejects of all the rejects, like kids that have mental health issues on top of like severe trauma. And that was my introduction. That was my first job out of college. That's like the only thing I could get. That's the only, actually, that was the only job that I applied, and I got it. So I worked there for about a year and a half, and that really showed me what unconditional love really means. Getting spit on after, you're restraining kids, getting kicked, getting punched, I had severe injuries while doing this, because that was part of like one of their therapeutic things that we did at the school. It was to restrain the kids when they were being a danger to themselves and a danger to others. And I cannot tell you like the amount of fear and anxiety that I experienced, and all that like everything that cost me. And wrestling was my out every month when I used to go to an indie show, and yelling, screaming, and doing a bunch of stuff to like the wrestlers. I was like, oh my God, I'm releasing all this negative energy that I have to deal with, all the time. And after that job, because it just became, you become emotionally drained and emotionally burned out, because we worked a lot. Like I remember being there from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and sometimes to like 9, because we had to do, we had groups with families. So I had to take care. And can you turn it down a little bit? Please, thank you. Or he's watching One Piece. We've been watching anime all day, by the way.
Oh, what's on right now?
One Piece, because we found it on Netflix. He's a big.
Okay.
I was watching Parasite, and he doesn't like.
Yeah.
So I don't watch. And I think I watch another one. What was the other one that we watched? I don't remember. No, those are the 3 that we're watching right now. But from there, I moved to Thunder Road, because it was like 4 blocks from my house, and there, that's when I was able to like actually start thinking about wrestling and becoming a wrestler. Right. So working there, I created really strong bonds with the kids, because it's a group home. Yeah. And I work with young girls and young guys between the ages of 13 to 18. And these kids had so many issues, but we saw a few that were able to get out of there and be successful. And some of them that got out actually didn't make it. They passed away really young due to drugs, gangs, police brutality, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I remember when I left that place to another social service place called Youth Homes, because I remember leaving there because I didn't have enough time to train. And a lot of the girls, I was working in the girls unit, and I used to talk to them about following their dreams and sometimes sacrificing things that you love to follow your dreams. Like I explained to them that I left San Diego to go to UC Berkeley because I wanted to get my degree. And I left my family, I left my friends, I left absolutely everything. The same thing when I moved to America. I left my fans, I left the school, I left everything I knew to follow my dream. And now I was going to leave a job that was super close, that paid really well, had really good insurance and everything, because Youth Homes was going to allow me to follow my dream, my new dream, that was to become an entertainer, professional wrestler. And they start seeing the changes. Like I will come at 7 a.m. and start like doing squats with them and like exercises with them. I had a running club with some of the boys. It was only 1 or 2 guys because nobody liked to run, because we would go running for like 6 miles. And while we're running, we were talking about our dreams and our goals and whatever. And I remember one time, his name is Wes Oscar, sorry, rest in peace. He was one of my favorites. I worked with him for about 9 months, and I worked with him and his mom. The reason why he stayed in the rehab so long is because his mom and him were going to be homeless. So we needed to make sure that he had a place to go before we release him, right? So in that meantime, in that time where he didn't know what he was going to do, I remember running. And I remember talking to him, and I was telling him, I'm going to be so successful that you're going to see me on TV. And he started laughing. I was like, yes, Melissa, I know you will. And then it made me really sad, because a year and a half after seeing him graduate from the program and being successful for a minute, he relapsed on bath salts. So he went absolutely insane. Yeah. And he died on his mother's arms. Oh. But he got shot by the police. So I don't remember crying so much in a funeral. Yeah. Godmother's probably, and my grandfather's funeral. I was devastated because the story that the mom told during the funeral was really strong. And she said that, like he wanted to be remembered as a warrior, not as what, the last thing that everybody saw. And I remember him being a warrior, and I remember him like having the same dreams that I had. Like he wanted to be successful. He wanted to provide for his family. So, you know, like they taught me so much about being resilient
Sure.
and being, and just trying things. Because I know like a lot of the kids, they try a lot of stupid stuff because they want to experiment, right? So
Sure.
don't look at me like that, Anakin.
No.
But yeah, that's what they taught me, and I show it every time in the ring, that resilience and that fighting spirit that never ends.
You
I'm sorry.
no.
That's a long story.
No, it's everything that I would hope that you would want to share with us, because I honestly I think that I've I've loved watching your career since the first time I saw you in show up and debut in NWA, and I feel like I've got into your career later than most people who knew about you when they were watching Lucha Underground and just more familiar with a lot of the independent scene that you were doing. Uh, my love for your work has just grown more and more as I found more and more about who you are as a person. And the we'll put over Chris Van Fleet. The interview you did with him spoke a little bit to that, and just the career that you've had before wrestling. And I think that makes me so much more of a fan, even more than anything you've done in the ring. And one story that I think, and this speaks to what you were saying, I think everybody that you've affected with your work in social work can be so proud of what both still here and those who have passed can be so proud of the work you're doing because of the determination and the drive that you show both in the ring and in life. And one story that you mentioned that I thought speaks so perfectly to that, and I don't know if you've mentioned this a lot, but you speak to the face paint and how that's when you got injured in Japan and coming back and feeling like that's you coming back, and that being your rebirth, and that encapsulation of the spirit of Dia de la Muerte. And then when you told this story of your uncle,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to tell. If it's something that you would like to tell, it gives me
No,
chills
I
even
mean,
to just bring it up.
it's like the whole gimmick was meant to be. Like a lot of the things that happen in your life, and that's what I, tell. I think now more than ever is it's some of those stuff are already written in your book. They were supposed to be the way that they were supposed to be at the time that they were supposed to be, and I think it was in my destiny to be a professional athlete, especially in professional wrestling. Like, I mean, the love for professional wrestling was in my family and my mother's side. I never met my grandfather. Again, I was not even thought of being born when he passed away, and he passed away watching a lucha libre show with my uncle on his legs. I mean, like he was sitting on his lap. So, I mean, my uncle, I could tell you, like he didn't watch wrestling for 30 years until we brought them together, and wrestling brought me to my family again. And that's the thing, is like them. And then last year, wrestling brought me again before my one of my favorite aunts passed away. Like that day I had a show, and she was like, that was like her last day on earth, and I was able to see her because of wrestling. And it's just like death and wrestling are the two of the things that are in common in my the history of my family.
They say death and taxes, but death and wrestling sounds so much more poetic, little less morbid, I guess. But
Yes.
I just love the way that you encapsulate all of that in your character, and the whole. Again, I just like saying de la muerte, but it's so fun to say it. But I love when you come out how you have the cultural ties of the Mexican and American flag, and it's so much more than just wrestling. I think so many people that are even casual fans, um, wrestling needs somebody like you to appeal to casual fans that need more than just the in-ring product to draw them in. And I think you're the you do such a good job of appealing to that. Do you think that there's with everything, without getting too political or asking you to get too into
Mhm.
politics or anything, do you put a lot of importance in that perception that you show in on TV and in the ring?
I mean, I want people to feel comfortable, and I want people to like learn how to appreciate the character for what the character is, not so much of like, oh, I'm Mexican, and just because I'm Mexican, you're Mexican, you have to like me. No, I want everybody to like Thunder Rosa. I mean, I think every culture in America, wherever we're coming from, we all have some ties with, our ancestors and our roots, and like the after death and everything else. Like, I mean, I think about the Egyptians. They thought about the after death, a lot, and there's a lot on the history. The same with the Native Americans, the spirits and everything. It's all in it's in everybody's culture. I mean, we as Mexicanos, we celebrate it in a different way. We celebrate it in November 2nd, and November 1st and November 2nd. November 1st is for the kids that passed away, and November 2nd is for the adults. But it's a party, we celebrate our death. And it's a celebration of life at the end of the day. And
Right.
And we wanted to remember those who passed away in a way where we're not remembering when they're on their casket. It was, we remember them when they were alive and what they meant to us. So, and I think now with Disney doing Coco a couple years ago, it just like commercialized it even more. Like more people are more aware of what it really means and everything else. But yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of being born in Mexico, and that experience, it by itself made me who I am. But I'm very proud of being an American and becoming an American citizen. Like, without being in this country, I don't think I would have been able to accomplish so many things as fast as I was able to do it here than in Mexico. I mean, I think I would have accomplished a lot of things in Mexico, but not to the extent and where I am right now.
And one thing that you said is so important. It's not just to boil it all down to, oh, you're a Mexican icon or a Mexican symbol, but you are a symbol. And I think you're a symbol for just strength, whether it be, and I mean that in the most sincere of ways. I don't mean to mean that in any negative way. But one thing that I think is so important is you're a symbol for strong women. And I know that that's, it is what it is, coming from a podcast run by two guys. But I think one of the coolest things about your career is what you've been doing with Mission Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. And we are still doing it. We're just man. I put so many hours on this. Like, it was just the idea, and then we created, and then it went and exploded, and now people believe in what we're doing, and that includes the sponsors and talent, and we are really excited. I mean, I'm telling you, the world is our playground, and some of the things, just by asking, and the fact that some people are interested in some of the stuff that we believe in and do for our talent, it's great. I'm just really excited for the future. I'm really excited for 2020 to be over. My son wants to get in here, but he's running.
I'll bring him in, if he wants to.
He needs to walk Bravo anyways. But I cannot tell you, I cannot wait for this situation, this global situation, to be over. I think that has put a stall in a lot of our traveling, a lot of the things that we want to do, but that's okay, because that's going to help us to like regroup, organize, and like put it all together. And it's going to be really, really good. There's a lot of people interested in doing a lot of different things that I've been thinking, that I've been visualizing, and he already ate. And I'm really excited. I can't really talk about it yet because we're still in the process of doing things, but I'm telling you, where I always forget. I always say this saying, but it's all wrong. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And we're going to make it happen. And it's, and we're going to make sure that whoever our sponsors are, they feel like they're part of our community, that they're part of something special. And then they feel that we're just not taking their money just for us to put in our pockets, or, to do any of that sort. Like, we really want to make some change, and we really want to change the landscape of professional wrestling. I think that I'm really blessed to be in the position that I am, and that allows me to help other women and to advocate for other women. And I'm talking about some of my peers that are on the same level that I am, and also like new peers and new students of the game. It is so important for them to have positive role models that are not only looking after themselves, but they're also looking after them and their teachers, and they care for them. Like for me, one of the people that I look up to and I see as a friend, as a family, is Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jazz has become somebody that I'm very close with. And I trust her, and she pulls me aside and she keeps it real, and she tells me the things that I need to do in order for me to succeed and not for me to be eaten by other people. Because I'm very good. I'm a very good person, you know? So she understands, and she was in some of the situations that I'm in, and herself was self-made, you know, and she has a really supportive person on her side, which is Ronnie Mack. And like I said, they're absolutely amazing. I am so blessed that they were put in my journey. And so, you know, I look up to people like that. She's very strong, and she is, if she feels that something is wrong, she speaks out, and she knows that that's the right thing to do. And that's great. And that's sometimes that's what we need, like, especially like girls like me that are people of color, that our odds in the professional wrestling are a lot less possible for us to get to like top level position than our counterparts. So, but that doesn't stop us from working harder than anybody else.
And not even in the ring, or not even just in the ring, but outside of the ring, and everything that goes into the wrestling industry outside of what you see going on inside the ring. That's one of the coolest things about Mission Pro is, you know, like you said, everything is on a standstill with COVID, and I don't want to, you know, force you into talking about any future plans, but just going off of what you've done so far, being able to employ just an entire locker room and an entire staff that's shows are being run all by women is so important with everything that the industry is going through, and how just even maybe 5 or 6 years ago, you really see how women's wrestling in the ring was taken so differently. And people think that, oh, well, you know, it's taken more seriously in the ring, so we've come so far. But I think people stop short of realizing how much further it needs to be done. And I think Mission Pro is perfect for being able to ensure that that message keeps pushing along.
Yeah, I think for us, yes, it is a booking for a lot of our talent, but we wanted to ingrain to them, the ones that are going to stay with us for a minute, that this is not only a booking. Like, we're really trying to teach them skills that they won't have in other shows.
Mm-hmm.
We really do. We stress a lot that it's so important for them to do interviews. And I talk about this like yesterday with like 3 different people. What I'm doing with you is so important, because that's the only way that you're going to start breaking into other markets that you don't even know. Even if it's 25 people, you can have 25 new followers, which will become, you know, people that will purchase stuff from your website, that will purchase stuff on Big Cartel, that will go and like your stuff, that will go and purchase a ticket when you're in a local show. So we don't see that when we're starting in the business. We just see, like, I just want to get in the ring to do my cool moves, and that's it. If I get paid, I get paid. If I don't, I'm doing it for the love of wrestling. It's not that. I think from moving forward, and for people to understand the value of a professional wrestler, they have to understand the value of being a businesswoman and treating this like a business. That's the reason why I feel like a lot of people try to take advantage of us, because this is how the business is. No. There's a reason why it's called professional wrestling, and it should be treated as a professional sport. And I always thought that way from the moment I started training. And I remember telling my husband, if half of these motherfuckers were working in a regular job, probably they all would have been fired, because of the stuff that come out of their mouth and the stuff that they try to some of us, which is not cool.
Right.
So I always, all my girls, I always tell that shit. If you see something wrong, and if you don't feel comfortable saying something, go with somebody that will help you say something.
Right.
Because we need that. Sometimes we need somebody to hold our hand, somebody that has more power than what we do. And we need to do those things sometimes. And I tell, like, a lot of the girls that I work here in Texas, like I pull them aside and I tell them all the time, if they're going shows with me, I tell them, they work with me, and they don't mess with them.
Right.
You know, I train with them. They don't mess with them. And if they're working with me, if I know that they're good people, I will take care of them. Because there was somebody like Kimura-san, she took care of me when I was really sick. Who else? There was a couple. Chris Wolf, she took care of me when I was in Japan and I had nothing else to do. And in Mexico, I had a couple of the girls that they went out of the way to take care of me and my family. So I felt like I have to repay that. have to give back because somebody did it for me. And I'm not expecting to be repaid. Don't get me wrong, but this is just how I feel like I owe to wrestling so much that I have to give back.
You come across as somebody who doesn't expect anything, but is willing to take everything. And that's even seen in the way that you've managed to, despite being on top of the wrestling world in professional wrestling, you actively train to compete in MMA, which is, people assume it's similar, but it seems like it's literally the complete opposite when it comes to training and just fundamental practice. Can you speak to how difficult it is to have to train for both of those simultaneously?
I can speak right now because I was out for like a month and a half because I was traveling a lot and I was just doing paddle boxing and stuff and just lifting weights and running. I went back Monday to do my striking class and we changed striking coaches. I was dying. Half an hour into it, my shoulders were on fire. And then yesterday, I think I trained for like 4.5 hours in the morning, and then I went in the evening, and we were just like rolling and practicing some stuff. And I was doing jujitsu. I haven't gone back and done jujitsu, but I just jujitsu for like 25 minutes. I swear to God, 5 minutes in, I was like, "Girl, I need to take a break." My stomach was hurting. I was in pain. Like, I'm so scared to go back to get to the mats. I'm gonna die. Like, if you ever experience feeling like you're drowning and you're not really in the water, that's how it feels when you're training for jiu-jitsu and you have no conditioning. Bravo! Hey, hold on.
Aw. Don't apologize. We're a very dog-friendly podcast.
Yeah, it's usually my dog's doing that. So I didn't mute earlier. I heard him barking. So I was like, mute.
What kind of dog did he have? Well, no, I don't want to get you off topic. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but it's hard, man. Like when I in the Shark Tank, I was telling my friends, I was like, I wish some people could get in the cage and you guys just like put them in the Shark Tank because that's everybody jumps you before you start training. Man, that just that memory keeps me humble.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, man, like because they jump you and you literally, I was like 2 minutes in and I remember feeling like I was drowning, I was gonna die. And I keep telling coach, I can't breathe, I can't do this anymore. He's like, you want to fight? This is how it's gonna feel. So get over it. You still have 3 minutes. And I'm like, oh, like, breathe. And like people punching you in the face, people kicking you. Like my legs were purple the first week. I couldn't walk. I had to go and have a match like that in Canada. Oh, it was the worst. I was in I don't remember. I remember being in the plane in so much pain, and I had this like compression copper leggings.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it was so painful.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't move, and I still had to do a match in Canada. So I don't know how the heck I trained, and I was working pro wrestling. I was going to therapy like 3 times a week too. So I always have to take care of my body. So it was rough. Like it's very, very rough. Like I have a lot of friends that are fighters now, and I see them training, and like I was like kind of like living like curiously through Instagram and just liking their stuff. And I was just remembering like, because when I get into like that mode and where I train for like fights, I'm like in super good shape. But it's like a killer mentality. Just like when you're like rolling slow, my friend always like, you need to like slow down. I'm always like 100% on everything. Yeah. And you just get very, very aggressive. It's really fun, and it's really if you like really enjoy it, it just becomes really fun to like being able to like, you're working on your combos, and then you finally punch your friend in the face and she's like, yeah, I got you or like your new kick is looking good, or like you see your technique moving, and like it's like the whole journey. I remember watching, I still watch my videos from my first fight before my first fight, and how I look now, and I'm like, man, like I don't even know how crazy I was to get in the cage like that, because I only trained for like maybe 4 months before I got into a cage, and I went pro. I didn't even have time to do amateur or smokers, nothing.
Right.
It's just like how I am. I always go both to the wall, all or nothing. Awesome.
everything that you just spoke about with the training and the difficulties is all physical, but one thing that Kurt Angle mentioned when he was switching over from amateur wrestling to pro wrestling was the mental difficulty of just a life of training to keep your body off the ground and going into training to learn how to fall and learn how to accept the ground and the punishment that you're taking. Is it hard mentally to switch from one mode to another, like when you're in the ring with Hikaru Shida as opposed to in the cage?
Yes. I mean, I think that was for me last year because I was really trying to be proficient at MMA before I got into the cage. So when I was going and doing my matches, I was feeling really guilty because I knew when I was going to come back, I was going to come back hurt. And I wasn't going to be able to do half of the drills that we needed to do on the floor and on the ground and like the takedowns and everything. I mean, I'm used to when for people to work with me instead of working against me. So when you're going for the takedown night, nobody's crawling on me, it's like, you just go for it. Right. And it was rough. I remember the first time everybody's like, what are you doing? I was like, you just told me where I got to do a takedown. No, you got to defend it. I'm like, okay. So it was like that, like defending, like that. Okay. Now it's a lot easier, but yeah, like last year, man, I struggled so much. Like I used to call one of my friends all the time. I'm like, man, I just want to train MMA. Like, I don't want to be wrestling right now. Like, this is really messing with my head because you got to turn the switch and you can't just come like all like killer and try to like choke everybody and like punch everybody and kick everybody. You just got to calm down, right? And he's like, remember where you're at. When you're doing professional wrestling, he loves professional wrestling. When you are working, you're working as a professional wrestler. Where you come here, come and focus and come with a killer mentality. Because here you kill somebody. Over there, you're not supposed to. And I was like, all right. So that really helped me.
Sure.
And yeah, he was one of the people that helped me a lot. Him and my other trainer, Melissa. I used to train with them a lot, one-on-one. And they helped me a lot with the mental part of it. On my coach meeting, he's the one who's like, always be like, I trust you. I believe you. I know everything you can do. You can do it. You're very talented. Like, I'll be crying every day. I can't do this, coach. It sucks. I'm the worst MMA fighter in the world. It's a trip, man. Now it's different. I mean, I feel bad because I haven't been training as consistently, but again, unfortunately, fighting is not providing for my family, so I gotta work. Professional wrestling is my job, so I gotta work in professional wrestling right now. So it's like that changing the gears. But now, since I have like a little break, going back little by little, because I don't want to go back like I used to do that all the time. I will just jump into it and do 5 hours a day. I can't do that. My body physically can't do it like I used to do it last year. I have to, like, this week I'm gonna work out 3 times, do striking, and then next week now I'm gonna put my gi on and I'm gonna get choked a couple times for a couple weeks. It's gonna be rough. My cardio is not as it was 2 months ago.
Well, and you say, oh, you haven't been able to stay in shape for it, but that's because you've been kind of busy, literally being on top of the wrestling world. And I said it in the beginning of the show, and you kind of shrugged it off, but it's not even an opinion. It's literally a fact.
Fact, yeah.
And Cass, I'm so sorry. I've been so
Dude, do your thing. You're quarterbacking the hell out of this thing, man. Just do it.
I've been so not to mark out too much, but you are my favorite wrestler on the planet right now.
This
so I've kind of just been.
What should be?
I've been hearing about it for weeks.
It should be like my favorite wrestler for forever. I'm your iron wrestler. Let's put it that way. That's one comment. I'm like, so I'm the flavor of the month of September. Who's gonna be the flavor of the month of October? I'm always thinking about it that way.
See, I'm trying to keep a little bit of professionalism. I don't want to just go out too hard, right?
You're one of my favorites. I totally fan girl so many people like Mr. Malenko. When I met him, I literally was like, I don't watch wrestling, but I watch your stuff. I do not watch wrestling, and believe me, you were one of the greatest.
Yeah.
And I just fanboying a little bit, and she was like, yeah, story. And then when I got feedback from him, I literally, like, my heart was so happy. I was like,
yeah, no, absolutely. That's I know exactly what you mean. When you whether it be in wrestling or just in life, when you admire somebody and then you get that feedback back from them that they're looking up to
We
you,
had
or
this
not looking up to
conversation
you,
today.
but yeah, exactly. That you know, it's it feels good. But without getting too far off topic, you're you're a little busy being both the NWA Women's Champion, which you've held since the beginning of the year, and also being the hottest thing in AEW right now. Um,
It's so funny. I feel so weird. I was watching AEW yesterday, and I'm just like watching on my son, and I'm just kind of like, I should be there.
I
I'm not there.
I know it's probably hard to predict, but Billy Corgan just tweeted out this past week that that it looks like NWA is going to be coming back sooner rather than later. Does that mean we're not going to be able to see Thunder Rosa in AEW as much?
I mean, as long as I know, there's a working relationship with AEW. Like
Okay,
that's all I know. I can't. I mean, I can't really like tell you more than that. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, we're waiting for Power to start back. So
sure. And when Power does start back, are you chomping at the bit for your first title defense? Do you have anybody in mind?
I mean, I have a couple people that I would like to wrestle for the title, to defend my title. But somebody that's been talking all this shit this whole entire pandemic is Allison Kay. So I wouldn't see why I wouldn't have another match with her just to shut her up and just to show her, like, it doesn't matter if I wrestle once, twice, 3 times, a million times, the same result will come out and I'm gonna come winner. But you know, she runs her mouth like no other. And sometimes she's like, I'm like, I'm not gonna tweet anything because I don't want to get too personal on this. So I just take the high road, brother, and I let you guys do all the work. Everybody be pissed. Everybody. And I don't gotta say a word.
How about is there anybody that you haven't been in the ring with that you would love to be able to defend your title against? Maybe in the near future?
Let's see. Ay, Dios mío. I had somebody, but she's from Portugal. Killer, help me, guys. She's gonna be in Blood Sports, and she's fighting Allison Kay.
Let me Google that. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I'm drawing a
Yeah.
blank now too.
I met her in Spain 3 years ago, and she's gotten so good. I really like girls that are like grapplers, striker kind of wrestler style, because that's my style. So I would love to like wrestle her.
I feel like your style is any style.
Well, that's true.
We've seen you with so many different people in the ring, and honestly, even for people that don't know that much about what you've done outside of AEW or NWA, the stuff that you can just find on YouTube, even if you just can find your knowledge of what you've done to that, there's so much of just a plethora of different opponents that you've been in the ring with, and really shows the diversity of what you can do in the ring.
Oh yeah, like I said, I like challenges, and I like working different styles and complimenting my opponents. I think that just speaks volumes of the style of training that you have. Oh, it's Killer Kelly.
Killer Kelly. I was waiting. I didn't want to cut you off. I was waiting for a moment to chime in there, but yeah, Killer Kelly.
Don't cut her off, but you can cut me off whenever
if
you
you
want.
had started speaking, I was cutting you off as soon as I fucking could. But I was not going to interrupt her just for that at all. But yeah, no, that would be a good match. Actually, I was looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
So good. Don't worry about it.
You mentioned you love challenges, and I mentioned earlier in the show I was going to loop back around to this. You love theater.
Yes, I do.
Is one of the things that you do so well is telling stories in the ring, not just your great move set or physically. you tell a great story, and even the stuff that we see in vignettes and the small stuff that you've done on Being the Elite recently, I thought was very funny too. But do you think that there's anything in your future with acting or television or anything along those lines?
Yes, but I have to take a couple classes for acting for television again. The ones that I took in college, they're kind of outdated. So I really have to work on that and work on accent classes. Because if I want to work in different characters, I have to be able to speak without not such of an accent. So yeah, absolutely. Like that would be super cool. I think I was supposed to be doing something with a local actor, and we had something. He talked to me, and we were gonna do like a little mini project, but it never came to fruition. So I was kind of sad. And I love acting. That'll be so much fun. I mean, I think I fell in love with acting again when I did Lucha Underground, because we did so many vignettes and they were like so cinematic, and we were like on set, and like I felt special. Like the makeup lady will come, and you know the director would tell me that I should stop laughing and I should get more serious. Okay. So once like I got it down, it was great. I had a great time.
Yeah, we interviewed Vampiro earlier, and he talked a lot about Lucha Underground, and we watched some of his stuff leading up to that. I love that part about Lucha Underground was all the vignettes and the cinematic aspect of it was great. I love that.
Bro, that was the best, man. That was the best. Like I think as much as I hated leaving set until like 2 in the morning, I really enjoy it. I had a great.
It definitely came across that way, and I think Lucha Underground was very on the cutting or on the front edge of changing the way that wrestling is presented. And I think now with COVID, you definitely see that other organizations really, you know, for lack of alternatives, they have to move towards that, and they're really playing catch up to something that really Lucha Underground, you know, because of the way it ended, I think a lot of times it gets a bad rap, but people forget just what you said. In ways like that, it was really ahead of its game.
Yeah, they were trendsetters, definitely, and the stories were like out of this world, and the sets that they created, and like the amount of talent inside and outside of the ring was incredible. I mean, you have Hollywood mixed with lucha libre and American wrestling, like, and you have some of the best talent in the world, like on top of that. So I'm like, wow, like, yeah, there was, like I said, there was a lot of like negative stuff about lucha, but there was a lot of positive things about lucha. Like I made some of the best networks there. I met some of my people I still talk to, and they're my friends and their colleagues that I have a lot of respect for, and we continue to support each other, no matter what. No matter what. And I met some women that were definitely fighters, and they continue to fight. One of them, it's Sexy Star. She's legit. She's a legit inside and outside of the ring. She's a fighter, and she's one of the few people that stay in contact with me throughout the years, and that says a lot about somebody, especially after you work with them for momentarily, and then you live in 2 different countries, and they continue just to check on you just to make sure that you're doing okay and stuff like that. And she's one of the ones that is always telling me, go for it, do it. If in order to live life and to rip the benefits of it, you have to take risks and just go for it. And I really like that about her. She doesn't give up no matter what happened on her career. She still strives to do as much as she can to continue to do and to provide for her daughter. So that's very admirable.
It's it is, and everything that you just said could be said about you as well, and everything, and that's not just in your career, that's just throughout your life, that's since you've been young. One of the things that we kind of just brushed on and then got into your career, but for somebody like you who is so close with family and so grew up in a culture of just providing for family and everybody relying on each other, you mentioned the influence and the encouragement that you've gotten from your husband in just branching out on your own and starting your own thing. But how hard was that for you at that young age to be able to not just leave your family, but leave everything that you're comfortable with and really move out to a completely different area?
It wasn't super hard when I first moved to San Diego. I was living with my aunt and my cousins, but it was hard because my parents weren't there. It was, I had to like abide to my aunt's rules and how they used to live their life, which was different than how we used to live our lives in our home. So that was hard for me because I was very independent. I didn't like to be asking permission when I needed to like leave to work or stay after school for stuff. So that's one of the things that I had to get used to. It was hard. Like my aunt and I, we used to bump heads sometimes because I was like, okay. So I was a teen too, so that has to do with it. But I was always a pretty good kid. Like I said, I was always trying to hustle some money. So I knew that there was a girl, she used to sell burritos. Used to have like this big bag and she'd like fill out a burrito. So she used to sell burritos for $1. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to say I don't know if you guys know this dish called tostilocos. It's like this big bag of chips. It's Mexican chips. They're like tostadas round and they're super good.
Okay.
And they have pork, peanuts, cucumber. Like they got a bunch of stuff. Like it's huge. It's huge. So I used to like cross pork from the border. You're not supposed to. So I will bring all the goodies from Mexico and then I will sell the tostilocos during lunchtime. So I did it for like a month until they caught me and they were like, you can't do that anymore. But I was so used, like I said, I was so used to working. So I started working when I was 14. So I wasn't making any. I was in high school and I needed money for school. I needed money for, for things I wanted to buy, but I couldn't help my parents either. So I was very upset about that. But on the flip side, I wasn't paying for my school anymore. I wasn't paying for my books anymore. I wasn't paying for transportation because everything was provided for us, which I was very, very like shocked that that's some of the stuff that you can do here in America. And like I said, I wish I would have started when I was way younger, but that was not the case. So yeah, so it was really crazy. And then the fact that I was able to go to college without paying too, I was like, whoa. So I'm staying.
That's I think I'm going to be paying for my college debt and past my life expectancy. So I
don't worry, me too. I still have my student loans from UC Berkeley. And when I got my loans to like use them to like pay for my stuff in college, I thought I was rich.
Yeah.
I was like, I got money in my ooh. So I was like, ooh, yeah, I got money. And then I'm like, afterwards, oh, I got to pay it back. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
I'm just waiting for that white knight to just come and just clear it all. Just universal clearance of debt. But
well,
I'm not.
If I was in social services for 10 years, that would have been wiped out.
Right.
But I didn't. So.
Well, I think you made the right choice, given where you're at now. That's just my personal opinion.
I agree.
And I'll tell you what, I missed seeing you when NWA closed shop, and I was so excited when you popped up on AEW. Would you mind just talking a little bit about how that came to be and kind of how that sprung up?
It was, like I said, it was written on the books of my life, and it happened, and I was really happy when it happened. Like I said, it was something that AEW and NWA worked on, and I didn't think I was gonna do All Out, and they told me I was doing All Out, so I was like, wow. That, like, honestly, that moment when I was informed that I was gonna be part of AEW for a couple weeks, that really changed my perception about a lot of things. And from that moment, I was like, I'm gonna enjoy the journey. I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to joke around. I am going to enjoy everything. The trip, the not sleeping, the matches, the training, meeting, people that I watch on YouTube and on the network, seeing old friends, just listening, sitting down and smiling and laughing and learning life lessons from mistakes made. It was really cool. Like I was a little sad I wasn't there this week to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Jericho's career. That's okay. I sent him a little message. But yeah, it was really amazing, man. Like the platform was given to me and we performed, and that was the most important thing. That was the only thing I wanted to do. If I was not gonna be able to come back, I was gonna be like, I am gonna come perform and make it known that Thunder Rosa was here. And it's like, I was here. You know?
Did you expect to go over as massively as you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Easy answer, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't
If
you? Yeah.
the power.
If I did an NWA, you don't think I wasn't gonna do it in AEW?
I mean, one thing that I loved in NWA was the entrance music of just drums.
But that was not even my entrance music. We didn't have entrance music.
I know they added it in.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so funny because a lot of people like they're very concerned always about the entrance music and like it needs to be like this, it needs to be like that, and then we used to come out with no music. So it's like you really have to work on the extra stuff that you need to do as soon as you open the curtain for people to like feel like you belong there. And I think even for AEW, like the first time I came out, I was ready. Like I had like the biggest smile and I had new gear and my sassy attitude and a great dance partner, which is Serena D. And we had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And then when I watch the match back and I hear JR doing commentary, I'm like dying laughing. He really funny. And the same with Sheeta. I watched the match like a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh man, I wish I could do this again with a crowd. It would have been super dope. But even then, no crowd, even better. That's what it tells. That's what separates you from other people when you even get over when there's no crowd.
Definitely.
You got over big time too, because and my next question, I could watch you and Sheeta wrestle 365 days a year. But if you could bring that NWA title back to AEW and defend it in an AEW ring one more time, who would you pick as your opponent?
Man, you know who I feel like it needs to be elevated even more, because I feel like a lot of people give her crap about, like, oh yeah, you know, she's good, but she's not there. Swole. Yeah, I think I will bring something that nobody has been able to bring on. I mean, we had two matches before, and they've been pretty decent. But I think this one will be like banger.
I would love to see that. That would be a good match.
Yeah, that would be a banger.
That's okay.
No, I can't wrestle Asuka. I can't wrestle Asuka. Like, my son wants me to wrestle Asuka so bad.
Asuka. Yeah. I feel like a lot of strings would have to get pulled right now to make that happen.
Right. Oh.
I have some Twitter questions, but Cass, do you have any questions for the champ while we have her here?
Do the Twitter ones first, man.
Okay, so this one actually, I'm gonna change it up a little bit because this came in a few days ago, and Pipe Picasso wanted to know if Tokyo Joshi Pro keeps you updated on when you'll be able to defend your title. Which, breaking news, unfortunately.
I had to relinquish the title due to COVID. Man, I got that message. I was like,
I think we all were.
Yeah.
I put it in the little box. I took a picture. It's like, bye. Like that.
Are you gonna when everything opens up? Are you gonna make it a point to go back over there?
I am like
wait.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm like ready to go. I was supposed to be in Japan 3 times this year. 3. The first time I went, I got the influenza, so I couldn't even defend the championship. That's 1. The second time I was supposed to go, COVID hit. They didn't go. The third time I was supposed to go, COVID just hit everybody, and they're like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, bruh.
Yeah, 2020. It's funny because 2020 was not anybody's year. You somehow managed to turn crap into gold, but
always been. I come from Mexico.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Bye.
The true CB wants to know if you've actually already spoke to this about thoughts on Allison Kay calling you out on Primetime Live, but I guess that's going to be that'll be determined, right? To be determined.
Yeah, like I said, let her do all. I'm still waiting for more talk, but she didn't respond when she won her match. I was like, all right, girl, I know what you're coming for. Start talking. I haven't heard anything.
Nothing but silence. Yeah.
Hoosier Brian wants to know when does your NWA contract end?
I can't talk about that.
I didn't think so.
Worth a shot.
Well,
Appreciate
I
it.
actually feel bad. I just printed them all out. I wouldn't have even asked it. I was just going as I go. But Juan DeMarco 4 wants to know who your dream opponent would be, past or present.
Why you guys? Okay, I was gonna ask. You guys don't ever watch other podcasts. This question is asked all the time.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
He's just reading that one up.
I'm,
I've seen that answer
honestly, I
before.
have 6 years. You don't have to answer any of these. I just want to put the people that commented on us on blast because
All right.
we're kind of small ourselves. But
I know you did your homework. Who do you think it's my dream opponent?
you talked about this on the Van Fleet interview, and I got to be honest with you, it's somebody I don't know.
Who is this?
I can't remember the name of it. It was somebody that I wasn't familiar with. I'm sorry.
I thought wait, wasn't it EO? Didn't you say
EO.
EO? Yeah, you
Oh
said
my
EO
God!
Shirai.
Yeah, it was EO.
What are you talking about? I
no,
was like,
but,
what are you talking about? You knew that. That isn't.
And she trained you, and you
Yeah.
talked about how she was just so cool to train with. But you mentioned somebody else too. I was thinking more past people who aren't in the ring anymore. Because you're right, the question was past or present. I'm sorry, but then you mentioned somebody that was influential when you were younger that you would talk about being a dream opponent.
I mean, it's probably Sarah Stock. She was a trainer.
Maybe that was it. I know you talked about when you finally got in the ring with Serena Deeb, how that was a moment that you were like, "Oh my God, I'm in the ring with Serena Deeb." But
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know what? I feel like I'm kind of striking out with these Twitter questions. I'm not even going to ask any more.
No.
No.
No, you gotta ask them all because they take their time and they want to hear their name being named. And I want to be respectful of that.
Well, we have 2 more. I'll give you, you already answered the one, so I got 1 more for you.
Okay.
All Elite Fair says Dr. Britt Baker returned to Dynamite and 100% recovered from her injury and has been using the assistance of Rebel to take shots at you. And do you have anything to say to her specifically?
I do actually. I was like, for the longest, I was like drafting this tweet because Rebel was saying, because I was talking, like every week I talk about like a subject, and like that week was confidence. And she said that I have too much confidence. But I was going to say, like, I'm pretty confident that somebody's mouth is going to get busted, and Ms. Dr. Baker is going to have to fix her mouth because they've been running it for too much. So if her or her achichincle wants to come at me, I'm ready. I told, like, I got something for everybody at AEW or anywhere. Whoever wants to, like, play games with me, I got something for everybody.
I love it. I know we're short on time. I know you have a packed schedule, and I don't want to go over our time with you. But I do want to thank you so much for taking this time.
I had one. There's
to be
somebody
with
sent
us.
me one. That I got
Yeah,
one.
no, hey, I'm not rushing off, but
I had one of our readers wanted to know. You don't have to answer this, of course, but was there anything to the rumors that the Ivoly's match that there was things were a little snug in there and there was a little heat maybe between you two?
The only thing I can say is that you guys can watch the match and you guys can come up with your own opinions.
Okay. That works for me. It works for me. I know what's up. I got it. I know what time it is. Shit.
I'll end this on something more lighthearted. You are not somebody who takes her free time for granted. And you seem like somebody who is very motor driven to make the most of any amount of time that she has. But if you have any amount of time to just relax and just not have any commitments, how do you like to spend that time?
What do I do, Anakin? What do I do?
Love that name, by the way, because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So I wanted to say something about that earlier, but.
Oh yeah, he loves everybody. Everybody does the things like, "What's your name, Anakin?" like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
What do I do in my free time? I sleep, bro. When I have time to sleep, I sleep. Like that's what that, or I like to go. Like today, I was a little stressed out, and I was like, man, I really like. I need to go on a long walk. Or if I feel like it, I have a badass killer workout until I'm sweating 5 minutes in. But those will be the 3. I will either work out, sleep, or go for a long walk. I love long walks. If there was a beach here, I'd probably go often.
So just exhaust yourself until you can wake up and then do more work, right?
Pretty much.
More or
Sounds
less.
like it. Yeah.
But I love that though. I say it with a laugh, but I mean that's so inspirational. I mean, not enough people have that type of drive. That's one of the things that make you so special, both as a wrestler and I think as a person. And I think that's why so many people gravitate towards you and the image that you've presented for yourself on a national scale, international scale.
I mean, you have to, because again, wrestling, I was just talking to my husband this afternoon. There's so many peaks and valleys in wrestling, right? Last month, I had a peak. It was a huge peak. I was on international TV. I was on a pay-per-view. I was defending my championship in 3 different states. And then now I'm in a valley and where I have no wrestling whatsoever. And I can't be sitting on my ass expecting that things are going to change quickly. I have to make everything that is in my power to make the opportunities for me and for Thunder Rosa and for my family. And nobody else is going to do it for me but me. So sitting on my ass and feeling sorry for myself is not going to do anything for me. And that's the same with you guys that are watching. If you feel and you have a dream, if you have a goal, and you're sitting there feeling sorry or feeling unmotivated, get to the next year. Okay, what do I need to do to not be unmotivated? What's the first step? Take the first step. That's the first thing that you have to do. And then everything else is going to work itself out. And I'm telling you, like, the pandemic really screwed people over. It screwed people's mindset and just created a lot of bad stuff. But again, if you sit in your juices and just feel sorry for like the situation and everything, things are just going to get worse and they're not going to get any better. And I think that's the reason why 2020 for me during this pandemic I was able to be successful, because I think it will be the second week of the pandemic. I decided that I was going to do everything that I haven't done in my career, and everything happened. So I'm really blessed and I'm really happy. And I'm really also conscientious and careful when I'm on the street, because the pandemic still exists and the COVID still exists. So I wear my mask, I wash my hands, and I still socially distance when I'm traveling, because I mean, I get into a lot of planes all the time. So I'm very mindful of that. So I test myself and I take this serious, because it should be taken serious. But again, it's not going to be a deterrent for my career. Like, the year's almost over. I accomplished a lot of stuff that I didn't think I was going to, or I had planned on doing. And a lot better and bigger things will happen for myself and for my family and for those who I love. So.
And in the meantime, while COVID is going on, everybody should head over to your store at Big Cartel, correct?
No, I have a website.
At thunderrosa.net, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, once you're talking about it, I have 2 new T-shirts. Well, not new, but I still have the one like this in black and white. Mm-hmm. I still have 20 pieces, so you should get it, because I'm not ordering anymore. Then a lot of people ask for the Loteria T-shirts. I don't know if you've seen it. I have a sticker. They're coming back again. I have 50 pieces coming back, big sizes. I think I'm gonna have in there. And then I have my new T-shirt that I just posted on Instagram and Twitter, that a guy from Argentina designed, and it's coming up I'm gonna put them on the website on Sunday, and I have 50 pieces of those too. So add some really dope posters that were made in Mexico, Halloween style, like old school style. And then what else do I have coming in? Masks, like new masks that are pretty dope. I still have water bottles. Oh, yes, winter is here, so I have new blankets coming up. them blankets, baby. And then we have, for Mission Pro, it's missionprowrestling.net. We have fanny packs, T-shirts, stickers, hats, the neck gaiters, masks. We have all kinds of stuff. Again, all that money that goes to Mission Pro Wrestling goes back to promotion. Again, we're trying to do this self-run. So we're not like, hey, so, you know what? We didn't sell enough tickets, so we can't pay you. We don't want to pull that to anybody ever. But we want to make sure that everybody is helping us in the future. Everybody's getting paid at least a little bit, but somebody's getting paid and compensated for the time. So, yes, man, I'm telling you, good things are going to happen. News are going to come up in the next month or month and a half, and they're going to be big and they're going to be awesome. And I'm really excited.
We all are. We all are. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with us. We'll make sure that we put a
I'm like trying to look around the corner. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like trying to get the right angle to see. I'm like, pull him in.
We'll make sure that we put tags and links down for your store and for every place that people can get all your merch. But again, thank you so much, and we're looking forward to seeing what's to come for you.
Yeah, good stuff are gonna happen.
Yeah, I can't wait for NWA to get going again, because Atlanta's 2.5 hours from me, and every time they were running, I was missing out on going to do media coverage, because like I think right there before in December was the last time I was going to go, but I had the Bobby Eaton show that we did in Tennessee that I was a sponsor for and ran, so I missed out going on that one. And I had some plans, and then COVID happened, so I'd love to I can't wait for that, so I can get down there and watch you guys work in person.
It was great. I miss it so much. Oh, my son asked, how many figures do you have in there?
Oh my God.
It's
That's not even all of them. That's not even all of them. There's more there. I got boxes over there. There's on the wall. There's tons of stuff. They got some up there. Yeah, they're everywhere. It's bad. It's years and years and years. I just keep finding stuff. Like my parents keep bringing boxes over to my house. Like, here, I found more of your shit. And I'm like, I can't wait to look through it, and it's just what's off camera is even worse. They're just piled up, just toys and stuff that's just all over the place.
No, I have so much. He makes fun of me because my room is like full of like artwork from fans and like gifts from fans, and
fan art is amazing. I love.
And I have so much. There's just like in boxes right now. I can't wait to have a house so I can like put it up and like show it off to all my friends.
Yeah, sure. It's funny with all of this stuff. We just started this podcast maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah, a month ago, pretty much.
And,
running the site for a while, but we just decided to do this, and yeah, we set it up, and it's been rough.
But until that, all of this was in a box, in a closet, in my bedroom, and I probably hadn't looked at any of this stuff in maybe 10, 15 years, and I opened it up, and I was dusting it off, and it flooded back all of those memories. So it's immature, but also kind of fun to have it all out now and have it all on display.
Same here. The first couple episodes, I was shooting it on my couch, and I was like, this doesn't look like I'm a wrestling podcast. So I did it in one night, put all this stuff out. So I've been like tinkering with it for a couple weeks now, but I appreciate that. That made me feel great.
Yeah, I mean, that looks really good. I need to get a new banner. This is for my fighting banner.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's from your first fight,
That's the
right?
one you had in that first fight, that they had when you came out, right? Yeah.
Yes. There's still a lot of this sponsors. They're sponsors for Mission Pro Wrestling, so it's like pretty cool. They just keep supporting, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Do not throw that one out. You said you were going to get a new one. If you get a new one, hold on to that or auction it off, because someone will pay a lot of money for that.
No, I already auctioned. They printed two, but I'm gonna keep this one. Probably. I need a new design, a cool design.
Okay. Any artists that are out there, reach out.
We know a guy. The guy that did our little thumbnail for you, I can put you in touch with him. He'd be more than happy to kick some ideas your way, I'm sure. He does pretty good work.
And then I'll be like, you guys want to have a space? You want to sponsor?
We'll talk about that. I'm interested. Yeah,
we will 100% message you.
I've been doing some sponsorships. I sponsored Chase Owens' Twitch stream for this month too. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting in on the sponsorship stuff. So yeah, we'll talk. I'll keep in touch with you over that.
This banner is gonna be in every podcast that I'm in, like for life, for like the next year. So you're
yeah.
But even more so, the Thunder Rosa brand is definitely a brand that we would want to promote and push in any platform. So we would love that. And thank you for coming on. And let's be honest, we're getting the rub here, not you.
You're putting us over big by coming on. This is great. So,
but I know we're already over our time, and you have a whole agenda going on tonight. So thank you so much. We've taken up too much of your time. We'll let you go, but thank you again.
Thank
you for everything, and God bless you. We'll be looking forward to watching you in the future.
Likewise, guys, and just send me the link. I'll see you guys soon.
We will. Thank you.
All right, take care.